Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going deep on the power of gratitude, like what it is, how it works, and why it even matters.
A lot of people think gratitude's just about saying thank you, but
There's got to be more to it, right?
it goes so much deeper. It's more about really appreciating all the good stuff, big or small.
Okay, so for this deep dive, you shared some super interesting research on gratitude. One study that really caught my eye was from Greater Good magazine. It was about college students who are already going to mental health counseling.
Right, and they wanted to see if adding in a gratitude practice, could make the counseling even better.
So they split the students up. One group wrote gratitude letters each week for 3 weeks, and the other group, they wrote about negative experiences.
The results. Pretty wild. The students who did the gratitude letters, even if they didn't actually send them, ended up feeling way better mentally than the other group. And this lasted for months, even after they stopped writing.
Wow, so just thinking about good things can really help your mental health long term.
It seems that way. There are a few theories why, though. One is that, focusing on gratitude kind of shifts you away from bad vibes, resentment, worry, all that stuff.
It's like hitting the reset button in your brain.
Exactly. You're less focused on what's wrong and more on what's good. But here's the thing. It's not just some feel-good idea. There's actual science backing this up.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
There's this other brain study, also from Greater Good magazine. They used brain scans on people who had written gratitude letters 3 months before. And guess what? When these people felt grateful, a specific part of their brain lit up the medial prefrontal cortex.
Okay, but what does that even mean? What does that part of the brain do?
Think of it as a control center for your brain. It helps you make decisions, learn stuff, and even manage your emotions. So the fact that it was more active in the gratitude folks, well, it suggests that gratitude might actually, rewire your brain over time.
Oh, hold on. You're saying gratitude can change how your brain works?
It's a possibility. And it could be why people who practice gratitude get better at those important brain functions, decision-making and all that.
That's incredible. So if just expressing gratitude can physically change our brains, imagine how much it could improve our well-being overall.
Right. It's not just about feeling good in the moment. It's about creating lasting positive changes in how we think, how we feel, how we interact with the world.
So how can we actually make gratitude part of our lives? Everyone talks about gratitude journals, but what else can we do?
Journaling is great. Just take a few minutes every day to jot down things you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. But there are other ways too, like writing gratitude letters.
You mentioned those earlier with the studies. What makes them so special?
Basically, you write a letter directly to someone who's had a positive impact on you. A friend, family, teacher, anyone. You express your appreciation, really spell it out.
Do you have to send the letter for it to work?
You don't have to. Just writing it can be super powerful. It makes you really think about all the good things people bring into your life.
So even if you never give them the letter, just the act of writing helps you feel more grateful.
Exactly. It's about acknowledging and appreciating those good things. And while sharing that with the person is great, the benefits start with the writing itself.
I've also heard about something called a gratitude touchstone. Is that right?
Yeah. It's basically an object or an activity that makes you think of gratitude. It could be a song, a photo, a walk in the park, even a certain smell that brings back good memories.
It's like a little reminder to be grateful throughout the day.
Yep. Whenever you encounter your touchstone, it's like a cue to stop and appreciate the good stuff. Super helpful when you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed.
So it's kind of like a secret weapon against negativity.
I like that. And what I find really fascinating is that gratitude can even help you see tough situations in a new light. It's not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about finding the silver lining,
So even when things are hard, there's still room for gratitude.
Totally. In fact, sometimes those challenges can make you appreciate the good things even more.
That makes sense. It's like after you've been sick, you're super grateful for your health when you get better.
Exactly. Or if you go through a rough breakup, you might find yourself cherishing your other relationships even more. It's all about finding those moments of gratitude no matter what's going on.
This is so insightful. I'm really starting to see how gratitude is more than just a fleeting feeling. It can be a real tool for feeling better and handling life's ups and downs.
And we're just getting started. There's so much more to uncover about gratitude. We'll be back soon to dive even deeper into this amazing topic.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. One thing that really jumped out at me, as we were prepping for this, is the connection between gratitude and, mental health.
Yeah, for sure. Almost every study we looked at found some kind of link.
Right. It's not just random. Like Men's Line Australia, they specifically talk about gratitude as a tool for dealing with depression. That's interesting. What is it about gratitude that makes it so helpful for, like, serious stuff like depression?
Well, think about it. When you're depressed, it's easy to get stuck in like a negative spiral. You focus on everything that's wrong.
So gratitude helps you break out of that.
Exactly. Instead of dwelling on what you don't have, you start appreciating what you do have. It's like counting your blessings, but like for real.
It reminds me of that study with the college students. Writing gratitude letters actually helped them feel better long term.
Totally. It shows that gratitude isn't just like a temporary mood boost. It can actually change how you think and feel.
And those changes can go beyond just us, right? Like gratitude can affect our relationships too.
Oh, absolutely. When you're feeling grateful, you're more likely to be, kind, compassionate, understanding. There was this article in Forbes that really drove that point home.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. They were saying gratitude can make you a better partner, a better boss, even a better coworker.
Right. When you appreciate the people around you, you're more likely to be patient and supportive.
So gratitude doesn't just make you feel better, it kind of spreads outwards.
It's like a ripple effect. Creates a more positive vibe, both at home and at work.
Imagine if everyone just tried to be more grateful. That'd be amazing.
It would, but let's be real. Cultivating gratitude, it takes effort. It's not always easy, especially when life gets tough.
That's where those strategies we talked about come in, right? Like journaling, writing letters, touchstones, mindfulness, all those tools.
Exactly. They can help us shift our perspective, focus on the good, even when things are rough.
Combloy had some great advice. Start small, use reminders, be kind to yourself on bad days.
And don't forget your why. Like, why is gratitude important to you? What do you want to get out of it? Having a clear purpose helps you stay focused, when those negative thoughts start creeping in.
Sometimes I get caught up thinking about, like, big things to be grateful for. But Men's Line Australia, they reminded me to appreciate the small stuff, too.
Oh, yeah. It's so easy to miss those little moments of joy, like a cup of coffee on a cold morning, a good chat with a friend, a quiet moment in a crazy day. All those things add up.
It's like training your brain to look for the good, no matter how small.
And what's really cool? Gratitude can help you deal with difficult experiences, too. Tony Robbins talks about this in his article.
Oh, right. He said gratitude isn't about pretending everything's perfect. It's about choosing to focus on the positive, even when you're struggling.
And making that choice, it can really change things. It can make you feel more hopeful, more resilient, even healthier physically.
In that article from the Brown and White, they said it makes your problem seem smaller and the world seem brighter.
It's like you're choosing to see the good, the beauty, the possibilities, even in the middle of those hard times.
Without ignoring the challenges, right?
Of course. It's about acknowledging the tough stuff, but also choosing to focus on the good, the things that give you joy and hope.
And that's where those practical tools come in, right? The journaling, the letters, all of that.
Yeah. Find what works for you and do it regularly. The more you practice gratitude, the more it becomes a part of you.
It changes how you see the world, how you treat people, everything.
It creates this wave of positivity. It starts with you and then spreads out.
This has been such a great deep dive. We've learned so much about gratitude, the science, the benefits, the challenges, how to make it part of our lives.
We've covered a lot, but there's always more to learn. One thing we haven't really talked about is gratitude in education.
Oh, that's a good point. We've talked about college students, but what about younger kids?
Right. That Psychology Today article, it talks about how gratitude can help students of all ages, not just emotionally, but academically too.
So they're actually studying this in schools.
Yeah, there's this whole field of research on gratitude interventions. Basically, it's about doing specific activities to boost gratitude in schools.
Like what kind of activity?
Well, one popular one is gratitude journaling. We've talked about that. But it works for kids too. They can write about what they're grateful for. Helps them develop a more positive mindset.
And there's the gratitude letters too, right? Where they write to someone who's made a difference in their life.
Yep. And they've even got something called gratitude visits. It's like the student actually goes and visits the person they're thanking and reads the letter out loud to them.
Wow, that sounds intense.
Yeah.
But I bet it's powerful.
The research says it is. It's a really concrete way for kids to show appreciation and build those connections.
The article also talked about bringing gratitude into classroom discussions and activities.
Yeah, like having kids share what they're grateful for, talking about the benefits, doing group exercises. They even talked about using technology.
That makes sense. Kids are on their phones and computers all the time anyway.
Right, so they can use apps for journaling, writing letters, sharing gratitude messages with each other. It's pretty cool.
And it's not just about the students, right?
Yeah.
The teachers and the parents need to be on board too.
Absolutely. When teachers model gratitude, it creates a more positive environment for everyone.
It shows the kids that gratitude is important, that it's okay to express those feelings.
It's amazing to think how much of a difference gratitude could make in schools. Not just grades, but, emotional well-being, how happy they are overall.
It's not about forcing kids to be happy all the time. It's about giving them a tool to deal with challenges, build relationships, live a good life.
And it's not just for kids either. Teachers, parents, anyone can use these strategies to bring more gratitude into their own lives.
It's a reminder that gratitude is for everyone. It can connect us all, no matter who we are or what we're going through.
And the more we practice it, the more we'll see how powerful it really is.
This deep dive has been amazing. We've explored so much: the science, the benefits, the challenges, the ways to make gratitude part of our lives. But I feel like I have even more questions now than when we started.
That's how it goes with exploring, right? It's those questions that keep us curious, keep us learning, keep us growing.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up part 2 of our gratitude deep dive.
We'll be back soon with part 3, where we'll dive into even more fascinating aspects of this incredible topic.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We're wrapping up our exploration of gratitude, and I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to this last part.
Me too. It's been a great conversation. There's one more thing I want to touch on before we finish up.
Okay, lay it on me.
It's something we've talked about throughout this whole deep dive, but it's so important. I think it's worth coming back to how gratitude affects our mental well-being,
You're right. It seems like every single study and expert we look at had something to say about gratitude and mental health.
And it's not just a coincidence. There's a real connection there. Gratitude can be a powerful tool for dealing with mental health challenges, maybe even overcoming them.
I keep thinking back to that study with the college students, the gratitude letters. It's wild how something so simple could have such a big impact on their mental health, and for so long.
It really shows you the power of gratitude to create positive change. And it wasn't just a quick fix, the benefits stuck around for months afterwards. That tells me it's not just about feeling better in the moment, it's about building long-term well-being mentally and emotionally.
And it goes beyond just feeling happier, right? Although, don't get me wrong, that's great. But it's like gratitude has this ripple effect that touches everything, our relationships, our health, even.
Exactly. It's like this web of positivity. The Men's Line Australia article, remember? They talked about how gratitude can help with depression. It's not about ignoring the hard stuff, but it's about making a choice to focus on the good, even when things are tough.
It's about finding those little bits of hope and appreciation, even when it feels like everything's going wrong.
Yeah, like choosing to see the glass half full, even when it feels like it's totally empty.
And that's what makes gratitude so powerful, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't require you to pretend everything's perfect. It just gives you a different way to look at things, to find the good stuff and get through tough times.
Tony Robbins, he had a really interesting take on this. He said gratitude isn't about ignoring negative emotions. It's about choosing to focus on the positive, even when it's really hard.
Right. He believes that making that choice to focus on the good stuff can make a huge difference in how we feel.
It can make us more optimistic, more resilient, even healthier physically,
And like that article in the Brown and White said, it can make our problems feel smaller and the world seem brighter.
It's like putting on those rose-colored glasses, not to ignore the bad stuff, but to see the good, the beauty, the possibilities, even when things are hard.
And that's where those practical tips come in, right? The journaling, the gratitude letters, the touchstones, mindfulness. All those things we talked about.
Exactly. They help us build that gratitude muscle even when we don't feel like it.
Because the more we practice gratitude, the more it becomes a part of who we are, right? It changes how we see the world, how we treat other people.
It creates that ripple effect we were talking about. Starts with us and then spreads out to everything and everyone around us.
Well, I gotta say, this deep dive has been incredible. We've covered so much about gratitude, the science behind it, the benefits, the challenges, how to make it a part of our lives. But like with any good deep dive, I feel like I have even more questions now than when we started.
That's the beauty of exploring, right? It's those questions that keep us curious, keep us wanting to learn more, keep us growing.
So true. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into the power of gratitude.
Before we go, we'd love to leave you with one last thought. If you could write a gratitude letter to someone right now, who would it be and why?
Yeah, take a minute to think about that. Let it sink in. And maybe, just maybe, actually write that letter. You never know what kind of impact it could have.
Thank you for joining us on this journey into gratitude. We hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, be well, be grateful, and keep exploring.